Hey friends, welcome to Gracefully Faithful. I'm Jamie, and this is my best friend Crystal.
Hi everyone, I'm Crystal. I'm just starting my walk with Jesus and I'm learning as I go. Asking questions, figuring out what faith really means, and seeing God show up in unexpected ways.
And I've been walking with Jesus for years, but motherhood, life, and friendship keep teaching me new lessons every day. Our daughters may be at different stages, but being moms has brought us closer to God and to each other.
So here we are, two friends, two moms, two different journeys, talking about life, faith, the doubts, the questions, and the grace we experience along the way.
We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers, but we do want to share what we're learning. The messy, the beautiful, and everything in between.
This is Gracefully Faithful.
We're so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello.
Hello. Every time I do that, it comes up that we're live streaming.
Where would it live stream to?
I don't know, but that's what it says, and then it makes me nervous.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Gracefully Faithful again. I am Jamie.
And I am Crystal.
We are talking today about marriage. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
And I want to start us off with a word a lot of people are familiar with. And I don't know if people even knew that this came from the Bible. You know, because I feel like this was at my wedding and we weren't married like by a pastor. So it says in 1 Corinthians 13:4, love is love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Amen.
Amen.
I feel like I'm none of these things. I'm a complete fraud.
That's one way to start it off.
I mean, I get irritable often, way often than I would like to admit. I'm not that patient, and
You're kind.
I can be kind, but I'm not always kind. I mean, the Bible has a way of like really convicting you and making you feel like a complete jerk. I'm not these things all the time. Sometimes I want to be them all the time, though, especially to Hector, because he is all these things to me. And he always has been. It's another thing that I'm so aware of that I was talking about, I think, last podcast, of like why we do certain things when we know it's wrong and behave in a certain way. This is one of them. I'm completely aware of how much grace I lack and maybe even mercy, which is terrible because God our Father gives us so much grace and mercy when we ask for it. So we're talking about marriage here today. And I don't know if you remember, but Hector and I have been married. It's 17 years, but it's about to be 18 years. And we're together for 19 years. We got engaged very quickly. We were dating for 5 months. He put a ring on it. It was awesome. I remember it. It was so sweet. And then I found out later the plans to do it were completely different, but it ended up being so sweet and so us because we're big time homebodies. And he just proposed to me on the floor of his room at his condo. And of course, I didn't let him speak. Like, I didn't let him have a word without putting my own words in it because, hello, that's just me, I guess.
I was going to say, that's a very Jamie thing to do, I guess.
God, it's such a bad habit. But he's like, I love you and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, I just kept blah, blah. Anyway, he proposed, and of course I said yes. He asked my parents to marry me. He asked their permission, and I knew when he did it. I knew when he was doing it. It was so funny. We were sitting on the couch in my parents' house, and he asked them for a word, and they walked outside in the backyard.
And you were there?
I was there sitting on the couch. Okay. Yeah. and he went outside with them to talk to them, and I'm like, "Well, what else could he be talking to them about that
Yeah.
I wasn't privy to?" But yes, and I'm sure he was so nervous. I would have loved to just hear what he had to say, but my parents adored him from the moment they met him, which is a really big blessing because that could be a big problem in families, not
Yeah.
really being a fan of the significant other and being critical of them, nitpicking. And they never, ever did that with Hector, ever. And still to this day, 19 years later, they still are obsessed with him. So must be nice to be the favorite child. So it's nice. It's good for him. I'm not
Good for him.
jealous. I'm not jealous at all. They're never
Aw.
on my side. No, I'm just kidding. Hector and I were both believers. I think I mentioned this before too, that we're believers, but it wasn't something that I went into the relationship asking about. So our starting foundation on our marriage was not built on Jesus Christ. Well, it is the norm, I guess, to just fall in love. He's a good person, according to worldly standards. Me too, I guess.
Yes.
Not as good. I mean, as we discussed the last episode, I was in a massive just destruction of myself. And then he came along and saved me, but not really because Jesus is the only one who can save. But it felt that way. Looking back right now, things would have probably been a lot better had we had Jesus as the center of our marriage, a part of it every step of the way. It definitely would have been stronger, maybe more on my part. Um, no, actually, I need to be a little fair to myself too. I think that we both needed him. We definitely both needed him. Everybody needs him. And, any little issues that we may have gone through at the beginning stages maybe would have not turned into a bigger thing, maybe if we had Jesus there with us, if we had good counsel, if we had a church that we were going to, and just things
Yeah.
like that, because it is so important. So I'm just going to pass it to you now. You heard a little bit about me and our marriage. So, Crystal, tell us about your marriage.
Me, Guy and I have been together almost 10 years. In April will be almost 10 years. We've been married for just over two. December of 23, we got married. It took him a very long time to put a ring on it. He was not as fast as Hector. And I'm okay with that now. But during it, it was really difficult to wait, not have a baby. I mentioned in the last episode, he didn't want to have a baby all of a sudden. When we actually got serious, we weren't getting married. I'm like, I'm not gonna be a wife, I'm not gonna be a mom, I'm not gonna be anything. What am I doing? But something in me said to stay, and I'm happy that I did. Our journey was not smooth. I guess maybe not everybody's journey is perfect. That's probably a good thing to test out, is to have those ups and downs before you get married, whatever. But yeah, if everything was perfect, I guess it would almost seem like too good to be true. So we've had our ups and downs, and we got through them. It was definitely work. And I'm actually happy that it took 7 years, right? Seven? No, 2021 he proposed. I can't do math. I don't do math, guys. However long that is, I'm happy that it took him that length to propose, because I feel like he did it when he was truly ready. He didn't feel pressed. And it kind of helped us to work out the kinks in both of us to make sure we were really ready for that commitment to each other. And then, after we got married, then he decided he wanted to go ahead and try for a baby. So it's like all the good things came from getting married, and that came from being really ready to do so. So I'm just so happy that it worked out that way for us, even though it was really terrible in that waiting season. Jamie, we've been talking about the waiting season lately.
Yes.
That was a waiting season. But yeah, it's been great. Marriage has been great. And I think this is the biggest shift that we're going to feel, because now I'm going through this and I can see it in him that he is dipping his toe in. He's not all there because he's very skeptical. And oh my gosh, Amy, I don't even know if you know this about him, but I thought about this in the shower yesterday. My thoughts go crazy in the shower. I think
Uh,
most people do.
yep.
So I was looking at my tattoos and I want to get a Georgia tattoo, whatever. And it went on this whole thing about tattoos. And it was brought to me about his tattoo that he has that is half Jesus and half Satan together like
He
this.
has one like that?
He has that on him just as an example to everybody of
Oh,
where he was in his faith.
oh man.
Yeah. And immediately I was like, I wonder if he will ever cover that or continue Jesus over. And it wouldn't be perfect, but it would almost kind of show the journey
Yeah.
type of thing,
Oh, man, I hope so.
Anyway, huh?
Something to pray for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to show where he was in his faith. And he sees me doing these podcasts with you. He sees me now. I have woken up 5 days in a row and read my Bible for half an hour
Yay. Wow,
before I
half
even
an
looked at my
hour?
phone. Yeah.
Wow, you didn't even tell me that. Good
Yeah.
job.
Well, because I want to make sure I'm doing it
Yeah, I
before I
get that.
say it. Yeah. So he sees me doing all these things. He sees that I'm transforming the way that I'm thinking and feeling about things. And actually, I don't even think it's me transforming it. I think it's God, I guess, because
For
none of
sure.
this feels like it's coming from me. And I think little by little, he is going to get there in his own time. But I think from watching me, it's going to bring that light to him. Like I'm going to be the light of the house.
That's making me think of a verse right now that I have to try to find. I mean, in Proverbs, it talks about finding a good wife is a great blessing and a sign of God's favor. What I'm thinking of is when, like, the wife is the believer and keeping strong with her faith. Usually, the Bible talks about the man is the head of the household, and they're the ones who are supposed to keep our faith strong. But if he's not, it's our place to do that. And then once he gets there, then he takes over.
In First Peter, potentially, wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without
Yes.
words by the behavior of their wives
Yep.
when they see the purity and reverence of your lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. A believing wife can lead spiritually without preaching simply by living her faith. That is, yeah, I do think that that is what is going to happen. I told you he took off his skull necklace. He wears a crucifix now. Like, not that he should be doing those things. Like, you don't just want to do the outwardly things, but the fact that he's doing any of that when he has that tattoo on him, just,
Well, I think that outwardly things are a reflection of what's going on the inside. So
yeah,
he's feeling that conviction that, okay, maybe I shouldn't have this on and swap it out for something
yeah.
holy, more holy.
Totally. Yeah, he watches all of the things that I watch. He listens to the music with me. So we're definitely like not on the same page, but we're in the same book. Not literally, because I don't know when I will see him reading this. That man skims.
Like if you listen to it out loud, like on the Bible app, for example, if you have it playing and he can hear it, or if you're reading it aloud and he can hear it,
Well, maybe I'll read it to him.
that works too. My mom does a lot of the reading. My parents, they do their Bible stuff together, and my mom always reads. And it's a mix of reasons, I'm sure. But my dad is not from here, and English is not his first language. So um, reading aloud is not his thing, but he reads a lot. He always has read a lot.
Yeah, Guy won't do that. He does not read. He really doesn't. He could, but he doesn't. He skims everything. So we're in different stages for sure. But I know I really feel like he's going to come around, especially for George's sake and for Hudson's sake. I really think like he's coming around. He's fully supportive. So this coming Easter, I'm so excited because now like I feel like I understand it all and I want to do all the things like the whole week of Easter. I want to celebrate and make sure we're going to church and doing all of the things. And he will be right there with me, even if he's not fully on board. He's fully supportive. So I'm excited to see where it all goes for us.
Yeah, Easter time frame starts February 18th. Yeah, when you're
Wait,
supposed to be getting your
baptism.
Ash
Wait,
Wednesday.
hold on. Really?
Yeah. Ash Wednesday starts the Lent season. And that's a part of Easter.
And that's on February 18th.
Yep.
How
Yeah.
exciting. Okay. So that's something actually we should dive into. I want to do, if you're okay with it, an episode about all of that, like Easter and all of that, because I'm still learning that whole thing. I would love to do that.
Hector and I have been on the same page our whole marriage, I guess, when it comes to this stuff, because we were not there in our faith. And then we got here together. It's always been like that kind of a together thing. I mean, sometimes I feel like it's just in my personality to take the reins, and I'm really trying not to do that, to let him be the head. And that is a really big issue for me. Like I want him to be the head, but also I cannot let go of the reins. And so that's something that I'm working on. But yeah, we've pretty much been on the same wavelength the whole time, except he did read the Bible in its entirety before I did because he was deployed, okay? And all he had going on was work and he had to sleep and that's it, basically. So he was able to do that. And I was here with little ones and doing all that. And I was getting, the word in, but I did not get it completely done by the time he was done with his.
I feel like that's when most people read the Bible is when they're deployed or when they're in jail. That's
Yeah.
so many things that I've heard. It's that.
Yeah. So he did that before me. So that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
he's always someone that I could go to for, I guess, wisdom. So, because he has that level head and he it's very simple to him in a lot of ways. Like he thinks about things in such a simple way. And my brain does not work that way at all. Everything, the way that I think, it's so complex all the time. Like I go so deep into like the smallest thing someone can say, and I could just like analyze it over and over and just rip it apart. Not rip it apart in a way of like, oh, they're ridiculous. Just, I mean, rip it apart in a way that just analyzing like what it
Hmm.
could mean. What are the meanings behind this? And
Overthinking it.
yeah, but it's just, I mean, not overthinking in a way that tortures me either. Like, oh, it's just how my brain works. I just think so deeply about things. He's really good for me when I need him to help me with the proper thing to do, the proper things to say. If I have to write someone something, he's like, well, you could take this out. It's not necessary. And, like he's able to just do that for me. And that's so important. So he does take the lead in a lot of ways with that kind of stuff that I always go to him for like the final say on something. And I feel like a lot of people these days will be like, girl, make your own decisions and things like that. But I can't. I have to hear what he has to say about it and what he thinks about it. And I mean, of course, sometimes we're not going to agree with each other, but for the most part, I'm like, you're right. You're so right. You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's good for me in that way. All of that to say is that we've been pretty much on the same wavelength with our faith, not being there to getting there together. And I mean, comparing our marriage in the beginning, of course, the beginning is always so fun and, it's just so new, especially with us being together 5 months and then he proposed. It was just such a good old time. We just were like, this is great. And then comes the issues and the stuff that maybe were definitely not maybe, definitely not handled right. Decisions that used to hold a lot of regret and shame and things like that. And you know, thank God for his forgiveness and everything because I would be holding on to a lot of shame and regret if it weren't for him. And I was until he came back into my life in the way that he has.
Going through all of those things that you went through and you would have handled them differently. And do you've noticed a difference obviously throughout your marriage, your lengthy marriage. You notice that having God now at the center of it has made a difference for you? Do you feel right now that God is at the center of your marriage? I guess is like the first question that I have.
I mean, I definitely am hopeful for things to, continue to grow and get stronger because we're still really new. It's so if we're thinking about God being at the center of our marriage, it's like 5, 6 years,
Okay.
compared to practically almost 20 years, so that's a very short amount of time, and I do believe that it's stronger. I do believe that if we didn't have him at the center, I still would have been holding on to things that I needed to let go and be forgiven for. I don't know, right now, especially because like we're spending so much time together. It's the best. And there's like changes in him. Like just, it's almost going back to how maybe things used to be, but better because God is at the center of it. And it's just been really nice, like super playful and just fun.
I love that.
Yeah, and I haven't even said anything to him about it, which is such an issue because I'm so quick to tell him everything that's wrong, but never talking about everything he's doing right. So that's definitely something I need to work on too. I'm
I
such
feel
a
like if
mess
I would have
still.
searched our text messages, I have probably said that to you a handful
You
of times.
have, you definitely have, like in the
Probably word for word.
oh my gosh, and it's true. So I need to make that a point today to tell him that I love it. But yeah, it definitely is different. It is stronger. I think it comes with growing up too and everything, just life in general. But yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that we would be so mindful of how important our union is if God was not at the center. I maybe things might not have lasted. I might not have been thinking, like so many people are like, well, divorce is always an option, but it's not in our case. It's not an option. And we're here to work on it together. I think that was always a pretty strong thing for us. That never really was on the table, but I could see how I would have been maybe more pushed to that, but I think that's also in the statistics and everything. It's usually the woman who files for divorce and things like
Really?
yeah. It's just like with the world that we live in, and we think that everything should just be perfect all the time and we don't have to put in the work, and it is just worth it when you work for something, it really is.
Yeah.
So, definitely, I think that our marriage is stronger and we pray. We pray when there's big stuff going on, when there's little stuff going on, and
I recently saw something. I thought I saw it. I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up. I should have did it before this, but okay.
okay.
I don't know. I thought it said something like 1 out of 1,152 marriages result in a divorce of like couples who pray together.
Mm,
Did that make sense how I said that?
yeah. Yeah, to
So,
me it does. I don't know
yeah,
if it does to
like
them, but to me it does.
couples in 1,152 couples that pray together, one of them are likely to get a divorce. I have to confirm that. I am pretty positive that that's what the number was. Regardless of what the number is, that makes sense to me. When you pray together, like if God is the center of your marriage, there is no option to divorce.
Yeah.
That's not there. And before we started recording, I mentioned this one verse. I never got to Ecclesiastes yet. I don't know anything about it, but this one verse, a cord of three strands is not easily broken. I asked Jamie if that's husband, wife, and God. And she was like, yeah. That to me, when I read that, it was like mind blowing to me because I don't know. I just feel like that's so amazing. And that's such a like telling thing. If God is the center of your marriage, there is really no failing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to do the work. You're not just gonna be able to pray about it and leave it up to him and it is what it is. Pray about it and leave it to him, but you also need to do the work. And I think it is so important to have God in your marriage. And right now for us, he's not the center because it just isn't that way, but he's there. He's present for sure. And I think that when we do focus more on him, it's only going to make us stronger. Like
Yeah.
we're at this point in our marriage, I feel like it's only going to get better with him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that there won't be any problems just because he's there, because we are human and we fall short all the time. And but if he's there to help us through it, it's infinitely better. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, there's no option, like there's no way out.
Yeah.
Unless, and I don't want to say that's for everything because
No.
God forbid you are in a dangerous situation or you're in a relationship where you need to get out. I'm not saying divorce isn't an option for that
No.
because
It
absolutely do
is.
what you need to do. That is completely separate from what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like he's throwing his clothes all over the floor, leaving all the cabinets open and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Although Guy does not do that. He is
Yeah.
so I feel like the more and more I learn about like a godly man and all that, Guy is so close to many of those things. Like the verse that you read, he's patient, he's kind, like he's all of those things too. So he is the one who like stewards our household. He takes the reins on everything and he's so much of what a man should be. I just need to like get him to
Poke him with a stick.
yeah, get him to God so that he can oh my gosh, I would love for him to lead in that way. I know we have quite some time, but I would love for that to happen. You Hector does that for you guys in certain ways. Right,
Mhm.
he leads. I know he prays before we eat. He did that when we were here. I loved that.
Yeah.
And you said he leads your, like, bedtime routine with the girls, right? Yeah, I
Well,
love that.
and a lot of the times, our previous bedtime routine, I would start it off and then he finished it. Like I just thought that him finishing it was important and he did too. So that's how we do it. Like the head of the household finishes it with like the strong word and you know. So, but yeah, now he's more leading it, like praying us into our Bible time and all of that.
I love that.
Me too.
Do you wanna get into gender roles?
When we're talking about those kind of roles in the house, like household chores, because he does everything that I do, but I don't do everything that he does.
He does?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's aside from like parenting stuff. So, obviously, I have a different role with the girls than he does. Um, but if I, the other day, we're coming home and it was garbage day and we have our garbage bins in front of our home and he's going in to park into the driveway and he goes can you get out and grab the garbage and pull it inside and I'm like ah.
How dare you?
I open the door and I'm like, I guess I'm a man now. And I'm like, here I go being a man. And I'm just so over the top when he like wants me to do something that um he's supposed to do, but it's funny. We like it's
Yeah.
fun. And then like later on that day, I came across a reel that the Mulan song, like "Be a Man" came on and the woman was pulling the garbages inside, and we
No.
just died laughing. So, yeah, those gender roles, he must fulfill. He must be the one to take out the garbage, and he must be the one to clean up the dog poop
Yeah, Guy is the same. He does all that.
and
He
clean
cleans the
toilets.
toilet. Yeah, I don't do any of that. We were just talking about this last night.
And those are supposed to be our role, like cleaning, cooking, those
Yeah,
kinds of things, managing the household in that way. And it's so terrible because we don't want the girls to be like that. And he's
like what?
relying on the man to clean
Yeah,
the
okay.
toilet and do things like that. Bridget will be like, I'll just have my husband do that. And I'm like, Bridget,
Yeah.
no. I'm like, you need to be able to do that. And it's funny.
I am the same way when I was pregnant. I was not sure what we were going to do. I guess when it comes to stuff like that cuz I want her to be independent. but I also want her to know when it's okay to depend on the man to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would do the toilet thing because I don't clean them and I don't want to clean them. But if I had to, I absolutely would. Like if
Yes.
he asked me to help 1000%, would I like it? No,
No.
but
Like when
I would
Hector
do
was
it.
deployed, I had to, you know, when my
Yeah.
dad wasn't around, that's another thing. So when Hector would be deployed, my dad would come and do the garbage for me and do the poop if they weren't living with us. Because I think once or twice they were living with us with a deployment, but there was a time my dad got hospitalized and I had to do it. And I'm like, oh, I did it, Dad.
Aw. It's such a proud moment.
Yeah, I don't want the girls to be like me in that way. I want them to be taken well care of, like Hector takes care of me, and it's not a problem for him. Like he's not always very happy that I don't want to clean a toilet. That annoys him. But everything else, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine with treating me like a complete princess, and I, like, rely heavily on that he allows it, and he's happy to do those things, so but I want the girls to do it. I mean, when I was younger, I did clean a toilet. Like, I cleaned, I cooked, I had chores, I had to do those things, and now I'm just like, "Well, he's here, and he's doing it, so I don't have to."
That's like those reels that are like when the husband's not home and the
Yeah,
wife is like dragging like whatever up the
picking up a
stairs. Like,
couch.
yeah, like she could do all things. And then like the husband's home and she's like, oh, I can't do anything. Like, I'm so
That's a me
weak.
for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
It's, I think it's like, it's kind of like me. Although I don't
No,
do
you do
those.
a lot.
I was gonna say, I don't do like the typical household wifey things like the toilets and I clean, but I don't clean the way Guy does. He takes on that role. Like I'll clean up Peachy's playpen, like I'll reset spaces, I'll vacuum from time to time, whatever. But when it comes to like, I want to build something or I'm painting or I want to do the molding in Georgia's room, I'll do those things. So I feel like we're kind of not swapped.
See, I won't even do that.
No, I love to do that.
I don't paint. I've
I
maybe
paint.
sanded a few times, like, a little bit, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm done.
That's it.
Done. You can
Yeah,
finish."
that's all. But yeah, I guess it's not an exact science, so whatever works in your marriage,
Yeah,
you
we went
know.
off on this thing,
I know.
a little tangent.
Side tangent. So praying isn't the only important thing. Like we were saying, you can't just pray and walk away. You have to do the work and all of that. But communication, I feel like I don't know if I can say is more important than prayer. I would have, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's appropriate because I feel like praying with Jesus is the most important thing,
Mhm.
but I would say communication is a very close second.
Yeah.
That can, like, make or break you.
Well, prayer is communication, so
That's true.
yeah. In any relationship, communication is key. So communicating in general is like the most important thing for a relationship. So
That's
that
true.
includes prayer to Jesus and it includes talking to our spouses, to anybody in a relationship. Me and you, our relationship, if we weren't communicating, we would be like, is everything okay? Do you love
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, "Hello,
Hello.
it's me." Yeah, it's super important, and I know we have had issues in the past, Guy and I, with communication because my whole life, if I feel something negative or if I have been hurt, I can either explode, which is not likely. I'm more likely to clam up and hold everything in and not say anything and just let it pile on and let it pile on. And I will wait for a moment, or I would, not anymore. I'd say probably the last 2 years I've been better with this, but I will wait for a moment where guys like, what's wrong? And then it's kind of like, well, since you asked, and I have to text it. I'm not good at communicating face to face because I get like when you get like the anxious shakes and you can't speak and you want to cry. And I guess from the buildup of that all within me, I just want to word vomit. I cry. I can't form sentences. So I'm very good texting my feelings. And that, as you know, Jamie, that I still do today. But I have gotten a lot better when something is wrong. I will wait for the right moment, but I don't sit for days. And I will say, this is bothering me and whatever, which this past weekend I actually had an issue that I was feeling with Guy, and he knows that I'm going to mention this. And I went upstairs, I took a shower, and Georgia was napping. So I actually texted him. He was downstairs. I texted him from upstairs and said, I have a couple of things that have been bothering me. So if you don't mind, I would like to write them down to you because as you know, I'm better in text. I want to make sure I'm getting everything out the right way. I don't want to stumble. I don't want to say something incorrectly. So if I could just write them all to you here and then we can discuss it after. And he was like, of course. I wrote the whole thing. And I won't go into all of the details, but I think one of them is important to bring up with like being present with your children and being on the phone. There's nothing Guy loves more than being a daddy, but he himself has gotten wrapped up in his phone from time to time, and it will pull him away from us. And it's so not like him to be that way. So when he does do it, it hits me. Anyway, I had to bring that up to him because that was just weighing on me. It was like a couple of days of me seeing that. So I talked to him about it, and he talked to me about things, saying that the lovey-doveyness is not present as it once was, which is to be expected. He said that, pregnancy and then hormones afterwards. And then now there's a baby in the house. There's a lot of factors that go into it all. But I also said to him, when I see you on your phone right next to Georgia, that doesn't make me feel good. That doesn't make me want to be fruitful and multiply. That I don't want to do any of that because that's not, you're the man, you're the dad. It just wasn't setting the tone for anything positive. So literally, I mean, he sent his feelings back to me in a text and then we talked. But right after that conversation, he was like, I deleted this, I deleted that. I'm not scrolling anymore. I don't like this stuff anyway. And he truly has not been on anything ever since. He'll scroll Amazon. He needs to. It's like, and he's not scrolling like mindlessly. Like if we're doing something, he has fixed it. I have fixed my things. He has fixed his things. And all of that to say communication is truly so big.
So, yes, communication is the most important thing. So, like I said, whether that is with God through prayer, speaking to Him, He wants us to talk to Him about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and He already knows it all. He knows all of it, but He wants us to choose Him. He wants us to talk to Him. So that's important with every relationship, communication. I am a big communicator. I never really sit and stew in my feelings. It's an immediate thing. I'm like, "Bleh, this bothered me. Bleh." Like I never have a problem. I'll cry through it. I will shake. I will do all the things. I definitely do have the moments where I'm like sick and tired of talking about the same thing over and over again. So the silent treatment you get, which sometimes could be a good thing because being slow to speak and slow to anger. So you're sitting there thinking about your stuff. So like what you do is probably not necessarily a terrible thing. Maybe not letting it get to the point where you're like feeling like it's too much and you're gonna implode. Um, but that's an issue I have, is not being slow to speak and slow to anger. And it's something I pray about all the time. God, give me patience. God, give me self control, the fruits of the spirit that I really lack in. And so I feel like I've done better with my patience big time the past year. I'm very much more slow to anger and not get too bothered by things, but Hector will always know if something's bothering me, and he's always so apologetic. But am I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm not so easy to forgive, but I guess it is difficult for me to forgive sometimes when someone is overly apologetic. I'm like, "You're apologizing all the time, but what's changing?" kinda thing.
Yeah.
So I don't always take someone at their word, and this comes back to when I say that I overanalyze things. I'll, like, doo 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 doo, go back to another time that something like this happened, and I'm like, "Well, you said sorry here, but your actions have shown nothing has changed or something." So but that is something I struggle with, not letting things go, not letting people be human. Like, I make mistakes constantly. I am one of the most imperfect people that I know,
I think
and
you're perfect.
and I'm so not, and you know it. Um, but I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm not perfect, and I'm always owning up to the negative parts of me. Like, I will fully accept it. I will not, because I'm not a liar. Like, I'm not a liar, so that would come with lying to myself, lying to other people. I don't do it. I'm just, like, brutally that's a thing I grew up talking about myself, that I was always brutally honest. Like, I just bleh. So that's what I'm working on, my brutal honesty. I'm, like, a little too it's a little too much sometimes. Like, I could tone it down. I could be more graceful, like Crystal. She is so graceful with her words, and, like, being able to write all her things down, like, beautiful, always beautiful, and
I have to do it that way in order to be that way because otherwise I will be quick to speak and I will mess everything up. I will say things like that I don't mean that I am definitely probably feeling,
yeah,
but that if I like remove myself for even a couple minutes, that's
yeah,
why I have to do the texting. I have to do it that way, or else I would be brutal, but it probably wouldn't be all honest because I don't know that I would actually say the things I'm genuinely feeling.
yeah, but I think that eventually you'll be able to get to a point, like, with this whole journey, that you could still write what you need to down, but then you could voice it instead of sending it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that you show a lot of self-control and everything in that way, so you have a good foundation for that. Being patient. You're so patient. You're so patient.
Try. I get that from my dad.
And
From my dad.
Hector's so patient. He's so patient with me. I am like this little monster running around, and he's like, "Aw, you're so cute, you little monster."
Little monster.
And
So I think a big thing that a lot of couples struggle with is wanting to have the last say and wanting to win whatever they're arguing over. And I think that's what people struggle with is putting their focus on that. Do you feel the same way?
yeah, I think I definitely used to be a lot more that way. Like, it's like I had to beat a dead horse. Like, you understand what I'm saying, right? And you get it, right? That I'm right and you're wrong in this situation, kinda thing. I think I have let it go a little bit, not needing the last word anymore. Like, if I don't have anything else to say and you still do, then it is what it is now for me. Um, but I definitely I would say I was very much like that. I always like to win. I'm super competitive, and yeah, that was a big issue for sure. I, like, literally would just be so obnoxious, and you need to tell me that I'm right.
Well, at least you're aware of that.
Yeah, I
That's
told you, I'm
yeah,
always so
yeah,
aware. I was
aware.
even
Yeah.
aware in the moment. Like, I'm like, "Jamie, why are you doing this? Like, you're so annoying." But I would still just keep doing it. So
Yeah. I feel like I was never I think I had to have the last word for sure, but I was always the one who would go home. I guess not necessarily like with boyfriends or guy, but like just arguments in general. Like I would leave the situation. I'm sure you have. I think everybody has. And you sit there and you're like, wow, I should have said this, or I could have
oh,
said
yeah.
this to them, and I could have. And then you replay it over and over again. And you just, that used to kill me It's still from time to time, like, it kills me, especially, like, the comments that I get on Instagram. I'm, like, typing this, I'm like, and then
And then you're so nice.
yeah, I
You're
delete
like,
everything, and
"That's
then I
me, that's
redo it.
nice."
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I definitely I don't care to win anything anymore. I don't care about having the last say. I think, again, typing things out, writing things out helps me with that too, because you do get your feelings out there as long as you don't hit send. Get your feelings out there if you need to, like me.
Yeah,
Um,
and I have done that because you said that.
yeah,
And I'm like, "Well, I
it's
won't
so
send this because I just told this person that she's hideous." No, I
literally
didn't.
get
I'm just
whatever
kidding.
feelings, even if they're not I mean, whatever you're feeling, I get them off my chest, I write them, and then I delete it, but I think also on this journey, it's helping me because having grace and everything is so that has been just a constant thing in my ear for months now, and I'm sure we've talked about this in I think it's, like, the first episode, like, how grace was, like, so important and to give grace to people and the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like I focus so much on that now that none of it matters. None of the other stuff matters, the arguments and things like that, being the one to win, having the last word,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. So I feel like when you are more faith forward, actually a lot of stuff doesn't get easier. Is lighter a good word for that? I feel
Yeah,
like things get lighter when you're, like,
yeah,
faith forward. You have, like, help,
yeah.
you know?
Not so much negative static in your head. It's so
Yeah.
funny because talking about grace again, I I think about the grace I would always give to others, but not the people who are so close to me, like, people I don't know. I'm like, "Well, maybe they're acting that way because they're just having a bad day," or you know, I remember, like, being in a supermarket or something and, like, my dog just died, and I'm, like, so heartbroken, and I don't wanna smile at anyone, like, kinda thing, and I'm like, "This is what other people could be going through, like a death in the family." Just so many hardships in this world, and giving grace to people is so important, but it's important to give it to the ones who are close to us too. And I feel
Yeah.
like we're just, especially me, I mean, I'm so hard on Hector a lot of the time, and it's awful because he's so good. He really is. And I don't tell him enough like the good stuff. I'm focusing too much on what I don't like of the things that he does or whatever. And it's obnoxious. It's just that's all I could say about myself is that I'm completely obnoxious.
And you know what he has gone through, because I know there's been times in the past where you've said something to me and then you brought up, "But he's probably doing this because of XYZ," like, something in the past that went on or whatever. So, like, something like that, you don't know what the person in the grocery store has gone through, but you'll give them grace. But you do know
Yeah.
everything almost, that your loved ones have gone through, so it should be that much easier.
And with grace comes apologizing, forgiveness, and all of those things. And I mean, how are you with forgiveness? How are you with giving grace? Forgiving.
When it comes to forgiveness, I've always kind of been, I want to say I've been good with that. I don't forget. Unfortunately, I don't think many of us do, but I do forgive.
Well, I think of it in a way of do you forgive, but since you don't forget, do you bring it up?
No, no. Like, does it come up in conversation? No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, there have been things that do come up, but it's almost not even worth mentioning because it's so little.
So, um, this episode got cut a little short. We didn't even say goodbye and that we love you guys. Peachy woke up from her nap, and I don't really